So, I'm talking to Kat Rampackova today. She is a dancer, a choreographer, and a dance teacher. And you got into the Sound in the Silence 5 years ago.
In 2016.
How did this happen?
Actually, I've got a call from Poland that they are searching someone from Slovakia who dedicates himself or herself to dance and can lead the dance workshop in this project. So they explained me about the project, but it was still very, I didn't know what to imagine. So, but I said yes, it was interesting because the topic was very interesting for me. And in high school, I've been visiting Auschwitz once, and it was very strong experience. And I wanted to a little bit work on this also, so it was a challenging also for me personally. So I said yes, let's go, let's see what's happened. And I also like to work with teenagers. So this was also the other aspect what I said, let's see, but I couldn't imagine really like how the art will be inside of this project.
Besides your experience going to Auschwitz once, how much was your life affected by the Second World War?
Actually, I knew people, for example, whose family or been to concentration camp, for example. But it was still, it was always just said like this, oh, you know this one or that one, but I've never talked to those people. I mean, even if I know them good personally, they didn't talk about it, so it was always some topic very hidden. So, yes.
And was this the first project where politics and history were combined with art for you?
Yes, this was a first project like this.
And how was it to work with Dan and other artists in this project in the very beginning?
Yeah, it was really nice as experience because with Dan we really could understand each other from the first moment. So I got the idea. Now I understand what is behind this project, or when I got to know him. So this was really nice, and also working with the other artists, it was very interesting because everyone was different with a different view on the how to work with art. So it was, yes. Also to understand, for me, the first project was really like, okay, how to work with this art and this topic that the teenagers can experience the most from themselves, that it will be really authentic to them. So, and I think that through these years, I also more understood how to work with it. That the first year was really experimental. Like, okay, let's see what it will work, what not. Yeah.
So 2017 was the first edition you had in Ravensbrück.
Yes.
What would you say was different maybe at that place?
What was very different was that we had access to the place all the time, that we were really like in that place. And this was completely different because then when you are there, then the connections got deeper and deeper, and you can, it is going like under your skin, you know. It is completely different if you are just going to see as a museum, you know, like guiding tour for 1 hour and then you go away from it, you know. So I think this in Ravensbrück was very like full of inspiration, and that you could be really in a connection with the topic. and with everything.
When we started to prepare the program in 2017, we were asked to give some educational lectures to the students. And then the educators from Ravensbrück said, this is not our style, we do workshops. We want to make people think about the place. And there was a special combination that we said, if we start with a general story of Ravensbrück, we would like to do workshops on art in Ravensbrück in the period of the concentration camp. And you agreed to do an educational and artist workshop together with me about movements. After I had a lot of drawings, which are stills, and I got interested in the movements before the still and after, and you were the expert for movements. So we went to the monuments first and later to the drawings. Did the drawings give you some ideas about the Ravensbrück everyday experience in the concentration camp you didn't have before?
Yes, this for sure. It was really a source of a big inspiration, and also about of more understanding it. I remember that from the drawings, what the most that I never was thinking there were so many people there, you know, like and then from the drawings it was so obvious, like almost from all the people who are drawing the everyday life, you had some drawings with a lot of people, you know. So this was for me, yeah, a lot of people all together, you know. And yes, and as you were talking about the educational workshop, this was completely different also from the first edition. And what I really appreciate in Ravensbrück, that educational workshop and the artistic workshops got very close, the perspective of how we work, and that it's got really to the experience of the students, which is completely different if it's only you are sitting and the informations are coming. And I think we cannot even catch all the informations, you know. And when you really are doing it, you know, or are reflecting, you are on the place, or you are seeing this statue and you are just imagining, okay, what was happening before, what you are saying, you know. So that it's completely different, because I think with this experience, it is going the knowledge more deeper also in the body. And yes.
Did it help you to connect with the story of this place while using the perspective of artists who went through this?
If me as the perspective artist get me connected more closer to the
place and its
place, yes, for sure. Also, because it is this experience is also my personal. Okay, so also first it this tour, then when I was walking alone, when I was going walking around even the Ravensbrück, no, going more to the forest and experience it. So I got much more connected to the place, and every time I am coming, I found something new. I already think, okay, yes, I know, and then something what surprised me also emotionally, and also like, wow, I never realized that this place is here.
The second time you came was in 2018, and we tried something new. And it could have been an experiment which could have failed, because we asked the survivors in, Selma, Batsheva, Judith and Emmy, and to do the Ravensbrücker Generationenforum Meet Sound in the Silence. How was this for you, to meet with the survivors there?
Yeah, it was a very strong experience. on one hand. On the other hand, I was also a little bit worried about like, okay, what we are doing. Oh, if we will not, if what I am doing will not hurt if they are watching, or the workshop. In one moment, I realized I had Amy quite a lot looking in my workshop, like being present. And from one moment, I start to really enjoying it, like to have her energy there, because I could just feel that she's enjoying this, what we are doing, and also the dance is abstract, which is kind of good in this way, because yes, with the abstract things. And then I was very surprised that after what we showed, that they were so they really like it. And so then the possibility like to work like this, wow, it can go even deeper. And I think the year after it, when we were doing the performance, also us as artists, we were more like relaxed. We already knew the ladies, we already knew, okay, with what work, what not. And I think the whole performance got more sensitive and more deeper, which was really, I was really, the last time when we were in Ravensbrück, I was enjoying also the process and also to see the performance. It was more relaxed, yes, I could say, than the first time with the survivors. Yes.
I think dance helped Selma, for instance, to understand what you're doing, because maybe Selma is not that much in rap and poetry slam, but very much in dance. And she said in an interview with Dennis Stöcker, oh yes, the dance teacher, she did so good work, and to see all these movements. How did you prepare yourself not to fall into the pit of reenactment?
That I was starting from people who are there, who are coming for the workshop, from the participants. So for me, it's always important to start from what they feel, how they move, and try not to put my things on them, because it will not work, and not even some things from the past on them. So going always from somewhere inside, how this place resonates to them. So I give quite a lot of freedom, and I try to create some space which is secure, where they can feel that they can move themselves and they will be not judged for how they move themselves, that all the movements are okay. So, and then when I see, okay, this is going, and then I start to combine and make a composition of this, what is coming from them. And I think if the work is like this, then the reenactment is not possible to happen.
Aisha said in her interview in German language that she is not a dancing person, but she tried your workshop and she is quite proud that she did so, and that it helped her to get a connection, but she won't dance in the future. She's doing still the poetry slam. I can imagine that you as a professional artist might be sometimes challenged by working with amateurs and trying to develop a kind of performance which should be convincing not only to the audience, but especially to the survivors. Can you tell more about how you worked on this tension?
Yes. So first of all, for me, it's the most important that the people have a joy in while they are moving, so they are feeling good with it. So this is like really sometimes a big step for amateurs, because many times they feel very insecure about the movement, how they move, and what is dance, what is not dance. Oh, I should be like. So first it's like put this away, and then when we put all these layers away, then we've got to something which is very authentic and honest. And this is something what I like to work, because then when it is honest, the movement, then also the transmission of the energy to the audience, it's also honest. So you don't need something more. In this moment, if you are there in the present and you are convinced with this, what you are doing, then also form, it is exactly how it should be. You know, it sounds a little bit like, oh, but then it's easy, you know, but to get to this point, it's quite a lot of work before. Yes.
You are working in an artist team which is changing from time to time. Dan is one of the fixed points, and Christian in the meantime, you as well. And Dan was talking about how important it is to have experienced artists in the team who create an atmosphere of safety, and that especially you and he are talking in a way that you can add things he didn't see before. We need the light for the shadows, using the shadows, whatever. How would you explain to someone who wasn't at the Sound in the Silence yet, how is this team working? For me, it looks sometimes magic.
Yes. Actually, it is always for us magic, because as we are changing and we never knows where we are going. And in the middle of our process, when we meet and we talk about, okay, I have this, I was working in this place. And so when the creative heads are coming together, then it's like, oh, you are working in this place. Maybe we can put the movement there. Maybe we can try it tomorrow. And then we try it, and then we see, oh no, it's too much. No, it's not working. Or yes, it is working. Or wow, this would work, for example, with the lights, because we need some create the intimate space. So everything is done by the process. So we never, at the beginning, we never know how the whole performance will be. It depends from the participants, from the work that it's coming out, and then by talking, we are getting to the ideas and to the creative creation of the performance. And I think through these years, what we understood, that this format of site-specific works quite well, and to work already like the workshops, working on the location we want to then perform, it's got more content to the whole thing. You know, so it is not about working on one thing and then put it there, but already starting to work on this place and feel it and okay, and what it needs more. Okay, maybe it needs a sound more, and then I don't know if I explain myself quite clear. Yeah.
You're very sensitive for the emotions, for the moves of the participants. And I know that you were working until the late nights with the artists to bring new ideas together without losing the participants. Can you talk a bit more about this process? How you implemented the ideas, the skills of the participants, but having a kind of artistic plot?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't know what Are you asking me about how we create the scenes without losing the participants? So it is not like only that we put our ideas to them, but we are coming from them. Is this the question?
Yeah, you're doing your individual work with the participants where you are very sensitive, you for the movements, for the emotions, their response, trying to help them to find their own moves. And so the others are working in their art workshops, but then the artists get together in the evening and something happens. You're talking about how to go further on. How is this process of combining being sensitive for the artists, watching out for a kind of plot for the performance, changing your mind from time to time, and still being sensitive enough for the participants again?
Now I got you. Yes, I think that what is the most important while we are talking, for example, we are always saying on which step we are with the participants. Okay, so, okay, I was working on this location, this, and also talking about how the participants are feeling and how if it's the right moment already to get together with the others and try the new things, because from the it is important also to create this safe space in a small group and then coming together with the others. And so, but also what you're saying that sometimes there is this creative mind, what we have, like for example, I have one image and I see last year it was in one room where there were the group of dancers moving, and then Christian from the sound was talking, oh, I'm working also there with the sound in the group, and I already has this image that, oh, it needs to work. And Christian was more like, oh, but I don't know. But then I was a little bit like pushy because I always think that we always need to also try and then see. And then participants were not really, oh, no, but we don't know because with the movement. But I was, let's try it. Then I was pushing down, then was pushing Christian. Christian was pushing participants. At the end, what happened, that they came and we did it and it worked very well. So sometimes, yes, on one hand, it's important to be sensitive, but on the other hand, it's also nice if you have some image and you would like to try it, don't hesitate to try it. And then it is also, it was happening that we tried one thing and it was not working, or it was like that we were saying, no, these two things are not going together. So, but I think there is always, and then is giving us the space, as the director, he is giving a lot of space to us, to the artist. If we want to try something, we have this space to try it. So yes, and during this night talk, we are talking about this, about all our ideas. Sometimes we are going too long with our ideas and we never try it. But this, you know, it makes, this is like creative process, you know, one thing is bringing another. Yes.
Last year, Lena jumped into the cold water doing a rap workshop. She was not familiar with the sound in the silence, but with the Generation Forum, because some years ago she was at the forum with girls from Berlin as a social worker. So she knew the survivors, but was not familiar with the role of being the rap workshop leader in this group. And she did it wonderful. Aisha now is changing from being participant into the leader of the poetry slam workshop. And I heard that she is quite a bit afraid about this role change. Do you have some ideas about how it might be easier for her to do this?
Just like you said, just jump and not think too much. If we don't think, then you just do it, and then you're like, that's it. I think this work is a lot about it. I remember last time Lena, she was before proposed, but she couldn't get how it will goes together, And then we were like, I remember me and Dan, we were like, okay, but we try this, that they will not rap, only talk and only this. And then the movement was happening, and she saw it, and she said, aha. So sometimes it is, you just cannot get it mentally, it is too much. But then when you say, okay, I see, and you just jump to it, and you just do it, and then, aha. So I think this is this would be my, how you call it, my advice. Just jump to it.
It's so marvelous after working at a place like Ravensbrück, where horrible things happened, to have this positive energy of your team, and especially of you there, so supportive and positive to the others. It's a marvelous experience for me, definitely. But now we have the situation because of the pandemic. The place, the spot itself is missing. And we won't have a chance to see the survivors there this year. Dance needs space. How can I think about having a virtual dance workshop which makes the project survive this year?
Yes. So, many times we are just coming to some situation that we think that they are impossible to make them, and then they happen, and we just make them, and it works. I remember that when it starts the pandemic, I was supposed to go to Finland to make the second period of rehearsal with one company there, which is inclusive dance company, and the director of the company, she's really nice, and she was saying, we do it online, and I was like, rehearsals online, okay, let's see how we can do it. So then I was thinking of it, how we can do it, and then I find the way, like for example giving the exercise, that everyone was doing the exercise by their own. Then we meet again, we talk, and we create a lot of nice material. So I was thinking, wow, I never could think before that dance could be possible, happen like this. I know that it will be not the same as being on location, for sure. I know that it will be not the same like being live with and in a personal connection with all the people. But I know that anyway, it is possible, and it will happen something which will be something different and will open some different doors for us, I think. So I always see this in something what is coming like, there is always something what opens anew, So yes, it will be completely different, but let's see. Let's get surprised. Let's jump to it.
We are addressing this year students in Hildesheim, Gießen, Osnabrück, Vienna, Lüneburg, and maybe some other places. So it is not only the 30 students we were thinking in the very beginning, some more will jump into the project, and then they will prepare it through your workshops, interviews, trying to find out what Sound in the Silence might might mean to them. So there is a better chance that they are prepared next year when we will meet in August, hopefully, with you and the survivors. Is there any advice you would address to the students to prepare themselves for the experience next year?
Yeah, I will say be curious. That is the best way. If you're curious, you go for you're asking, you're searching, so this is I think the best advice. If, yes, be curious.
So I have a last question. Did I forget anything to ask you what you wanted to tell us forever?
No, I think it was everything.
Okay, then thank you very much. Stay healthy, be healthy, and
Thank you.
next year in Ravensbrück.
Thank you.